You're listening to Plants and Politics with Gina Bonanno-Lemos. If you're ready to hear the truth about both sides of the aisle, what's really going on in America, and how big money interests prevent change to keep you sick, broke, and desperate, then play on. Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. This is Gina. So I have breaking news on a very important decision coming down from the Supreme Court. Ooh, this is going to leave a mark. You just love to see it. So in a 7-2 decision, the court ruled that Trump does not have complete and total immunity. Imagine that. He has been fighting the request for his financial paperwork, and he took it all the way to the Supreme Court trying to hide his financial information. So the Supreme Court ruled that he must turn over his tax records to New York prosecutors. Now, this is something that they've been seeking. These documents are papers that they've been seeking. They've tried to get them through the IRS to no avail. And one of the major reasons that we need to see these is because, number one, Trump hid his tax returns, right? Every other president in modern history has turned over their tax returns. And the reason it's important is because we need to know whose team you're playing for, essentially. We need to know, are you making decisions based on the law, based on what's good for the country, or are you making decisions based on what's good for you and your private business interests? This is why I personally don't believe that anyone who's in public office in a capacity to make laws for everyone should be able to also have private businesses at the same time, because it could be a conflict of interest. But there's always going to be some overlap. Even if you're running let's say a nonprofit animal shelter or nonprofit homeless shelter, there's going to be some sort of overlap. So it's definitely a danger. So we need to see what is going on, who he owes money to, where he's been getting money from, because if he's making policy decisions based on that, based on doing favors for people or entities or other countries, we need to know. So the biggest deal with this decision was that two of the Supreme Court justices that he appointed, which is Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, both ruled against him. So again, it was a 7-2 decision. Justice Roberts ruled against him, which he's been ruling, essentially against a lot of the Republican pet projects lately. But the only two who dissented were Thomas and Alito. And in the decision, here's exactly what they wrote. So it says, 200 years ago, a great jurist of our court established that no citizen, not even the president, is categorically above the common duty to produce evidence when called upon in a criminal proceeding. We reaffirm that principle today and hold that the president is neither absolutely immune from state criminal subpoenas seeking his private papers, nor entitled to a heightened standard of need. So this is huge, guys, because I don't think that any president, whether Democrat or Republican, should be above the law. They should not be able to just decide when and if they're going to work with prosecutors. I don't think that presidents should be arbitrarily prosecuted. I don't think you should use it as a political weapon, but I do think that when there is smoke, there is fire, and we have certainly seen plenty of smoke with this president, especially in regard to his relationship to Deutsche Bank, who is, that bank should have been shut down. There's no way that bank should be allowed to continue operating with all of the illegal activities that go on there. Just the things we know about that they've been prosecuted over and given slaps on the wrist. But, even more recently, it came out that they were aware of Jeffrey Epstein's pedophilia ring, and they actually sought him out as a client. So he didn't go to them and say, hey, I want to set up my accounts with you. They actually went after him. So they wooed him and tried to get him. And they even had internal documents, internal memos that outlined the fact that he had already been prosecuted for his crimes and that he was a well-known child sex trafficker. And they still went after him. They still wanted him because of money. It is absolutely so beyond vile, so beyond horrific that greed has taken over. Greed is the number one thing, I think, that is just destroying our society right now. Because as the old saying goes, for men to do evil, good men must do nothing, sit back and do nothing. And that is what is happening here. So I'm glad to see this decision about Trump. I'm shocked, to be honest. I would have, if I had bet money on it, I would have lost, that Gorsuch and Kavanaugh would have ruled against him. I thought for sure that they would protect him in this. So, so I was wrong about them in some respects. I'm not going to give them a total pass, but Kavanaugh especially, still have issues with that guy. And he is a proven liar. But in this decision, he actually, he did the right thing. He followed the Constitution. He followed the letter of the law. And I have to give him credit for that. I'll give credit where credit is due, regardless of whether it falls on the right or the left. I'm going to be fair and honest. So that's where it's at, guys. This is it's getting hot in here, as Nelly would say. So yeah, stuff's about to get real. Anyway, so I will talk to you guys soon. As always, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Take care. Thanks for listening to Plants and Politics. The only way we can take our country and power back is to spread the truth and build an army. So remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share on Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks again.